Hi guys and welcome back. So I love taking care of my electronics and I'm really particular about my phone and not getting any scratches on it. But unfortunately, because I have my keys and my phone in my bag together, the keys end up scratching my phone quite a few times. So here's a quick and fun way to make sure that that doesn't happen by making this adorable little llama key cover. The pattern is really simple to follow and you can make it into any animal that you like. Before we get started with the video, if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel and click on the bell icon to get notified every time I post a video. If you try out any of my patterns, please send them to me either on Instagram or by email. The links are in the description. So let's get started. So here are all the supplies we're going to be using for this project. I'm going to be using light or sport weight yarn. Here are the details of the yarn. If you see, it is pretty thin. I have this in black as well as beige. The beige one is Alize Cotton Gold. Along with this yarn, I have a 2mm crochet hook. I also have a stitch marker, a pair of scissors, a yarn needle, a keyring, a bead. You can use a few of different sizes if you like. This is optional. And then I have some stuffing. If you don't have stuffing, you can use scrap yarn. I also have this big bag of scrap yarn that I'm going to be using for some of the accessories. So now to get started, we're going to make a magic ring. To make a magic ring, wrap the yarn across the back of your two fingers to create an X. Insert your crochet hook into the bottom, pick up the top and twist, and then just pull up a loop. You have a magic ring ready. Into this magic ring, we're going to place 6 single crochets. Insert your crochet hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Now you're going to tuck the tail end of the magic ring to close it up, and that completes your first row. Now for the next row, into each one of those stitches we're going to place 2 single crochets or an increase. So into that first stitch we're placing 1 and 2. Into the next one, 1, 2. Into the one after that, 1 and 2, and you're doing this 6 times all the way around until you have 12 stitches for this row. Now I've placed the stitch marker on my 12th stitch. For the next row, into that very first stitch we're going to place 1 single crochet, into the one after that an increase, or 1 and 2, into the next one, 1, into the one after that, 1 and 2, again 1, 1, 2, and you're going to do this 6 times all the way around until you have 18 stitches for this row. Now for the next row, you're going to place 3 single crochets. So that's 1, 2 and 3. In the next stitch we're going to do an increase, 1 and 2. Into the one after that, again an increase, 1 and 2. Again 3 single crochets, 1, 2 and 3. Into the next stitch, just 1 increase. Repeat that one more time, 3 single crochets followed by 2 increases. So an increase in the first stitch, an increase in the second stitch, followed by 3 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, and into that last stitch an increase, 1 and 2, and this brings your stitch count total to 24 stitches for this row. Now for the next row, you're going to start with 4 single crochets, 1, 2, 3 and 4, followed by 2 increases. So an increase into this stitch and an increase into the next one, we're going to follow that up with 10 single crochets. Follow that up with 2 increases again. So into that first stitch we place an increase, into the next stitch we place an increase. Now you should be left with 6 stitches. Place 1 single crochet into each one of those, and this should bring your stitch count total to 28 stitches for this row. Now for the next row you're going to do 5 single crochets, followed by 2 increases, followed by 5 single crochets, followed by 1 increase, followed by 6 single crochets, followed by 2 increases, followed by 6 single crochets again, and an increase on that very last stitch, and this will bring your stitch count total to 34 stitches for this row. Now for the next row you're going to start with 6 single crochets, followed by 2 increases, follow this up with 15 single crochets, followed by 2 increases, and now you should be left with 9 stitches. Put 1 single crochet into each of these to bring your stitch count total to 38 stitches for this row. Now for the next row we're going to start with 8 single crochets, followed by 1 increase, followed by 18 single crochets, followed by 1 increase. Now you should be left with 10 stitches. Place 1 single crochet in each of these, and this brings your stitch count total to 40 stitches for this row. Now for the next row you're going to start with 9 single crochets, follow it up with 1 increase, and then do 19 single crochets, followed by 1 increase, and now you should be left with 10 stitches. Place 1 single crochet into each one of those to bring our stitch count total to 42 stitches for this row. And now we're done with our increase rows. Now we're just going to work on repeat rows. So put on your favorite Netflix show, and for the next 24 rows you're just going to place 1 single crochet all the way around for 42 stitches for each of the rows. So build up, and then I'll meet you back here again. Now once you're done, this is what it should look like. Let's leave a tail that we'll use just to hide our ends in. Remove your stitch marker. We're going to go into the very next stitch, which is the one right here. Place a slip stitch and pull the yarn through. So that finishes the basic structure of your key fob. So now let's start working on the muzzle. To do that we're going to start with the magic ring again. Into the magic ring we're going to place 6 single crochets. Pull on the tail end of your magic ring to close it up. For the next row you're going to place 2 single crochets into each of the stitch or an increase to bring our stitch count total to 12 stitches for this row. For the next row we're going to place 1 single crochet followed by an increase 6 times all the way around until we have 18 stitches for this row. So 1 single crochet into the first stitch and 2 single crochets into the next one. Now for the next row, you're going to place 2 single crochets. So one into that first stitch, one into the second stitch, into the third stitch and increase. So 1, 1, 1, 2. You're going to do this 6 times all the way around until you have 24 stitches for this row. Now for the next row, you're going to place 3 single crochets followed by an increase 6 times all the way around until you have 30 stitches for this row, and you're going to follow that up with 3 rows of just 1 single crochet all the way around for 30 stitches for each of the rows. Now once you're done, you're going to leave a long tail that we're going to use to sew this on. Snip your yarn off and pull it through, and this is what the muzzle is supposed to look like. So now we're going to sew the muzzle on. So I've threaded my yarn up. We're going to place this right here. So we're going to leave ample space on the bottom, about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, about 10 rows on the bottom. And what we're going to do is just a simple stitch to sew this in place. And once you're halfway through sewing this, you're going to add some stuffing. So just push your yarn needle through the front and the back, like so. If you see, I've sewn the muzzle on halfway through. We're gonna add a little bit of stuffing. You can add scrap yarn as well, and just push it through, shape it a little bit, and then just continue sewing on. So now we're going to work on the embroidering. So I've just threaded up some of my black yarn. We're going to start with the nose, and to do the nose we're going to do a Y shape. So if you see, this is the midmost part of the nose. We're just going to go across the stitches like this, and just one more time pull it out, yes, like that, through the same area. If you see, you've got a line right here. Now we're going to go on both sides to create the Y. So I'm going roughly across the same stitches in the same row so that it looks symmetrical. We've got one right there, and then pull it back through the same side, and out from the back. And now you can just adjust it a bit, but you've got the nose ready. Next we're going to do the eyes. So you can do the eyes however you want. I'm going to make them into little half moon closed eyes. So roughly just start on one corner. The first eye you can do it how you want. It's the second eye that you're going to have to exactly replicate. So we're just going to go down a few stitches if you want to do the half moon shape. Make sure that you've connected the stitches as you sew on so that there are no gaps. Like this, and if you want you can add lashes as well. So now we're going to start working on the ears. Start with a magic ring with 6 single crochets. For row number 2, place 1 single crochet all the way around for 6 stitches for this row. Now for the next row you're going to place an increase into each of the stitches to bring the stitch count to 12 stitches, and then do one row of just 1 single crochet all the way around for 12 stitches for this row. For the next row you're going to place 1 single crochet followed by an increase 6 times all the way around until you have 18 stitches for this row, and then do just 2 rows of 1 single crochet all the way around for 18 stitches for each of those rows. Now for the last row, you're going to do one single crochet followed by a decrease. So this is my first single crochet. To do a decrease, if you see, every stitch has a V. We're going to split and only pick up the front loop of the first stitch. Do the same thing for the next stitch. You've got 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. Again, 1 followed by a decrease. One more time, 1. Let me slow it down. Followed by a decrease, and do this 6 times all the way around. Then you can snip your yarn off and go ahead and make a second one exactly like this. So now we're going to go ahead and attach the ears. If you see, I've already attached one. So take the ear and you're just going to fold this in half on the bottom, so like this. Grab your yarn needle and just do a small stitch across the bottom. This will just help shape it a bit. Once you're done with that, you can just place it on the other side. So I've gone to the third row, 1, 2, 3 from the top, and I'm just going to go down a few stitches, attach this in place, and then just do a simple stitch to make sure that it stays in place. So just through the ear and through my work. And once you're done, this is what it should look like. You can just sew in your ends. I haven't done that yet. Now you can go ahead and add any decorations that you want. You can put little flowers or tassels or pretty much anything you want. So now we're going to make the keyring holder. So you can crochet this in any color. You can continue in the same color as well. Just make a chain of about 75 chains. Now don't snip your yarn off. We're just going to pull this through the first magic ring that we made. So I'm inserting my crochet hook into that magic ring, getting it through the other side, looping up my yarn and just pulling it through. Now you can just snip that excess yarn off, remove the working side of the yarn, and for this side you can just pull it through. I've left a long tail, as you can see, and you've got one end through this side and one end on the other side. Now I'm going to take my keyring, I'm going to loop it through this, and then I'm going to do the same thing again. So I'm going to insert my crochet hook back into that initial magic ring. You can even flip your work over and do this. It might actually be a little easier. And if you see, I'm just trying to loop this end through and just pull it through like this. So now if I pull this down, I can see my keyring. If I pull it up, it disappears. Now make sure that your two sides are equal, and if you want to add any beads or any decoration, you can add those now. So it's pretty simple. You just have to thread your yarn up. You'll have to thread both strings of your yarn up, and then you can insert the beads through. So let me just show you how to do that for one bead. I have both strings of my yarn threaded through. I'm just going to pick up a bead. This one may be too small, and just pull it through, and it depends on how much you want to push it down. You can choose and then just move it in place. Now finally you can just tie these two ends together, and then you can hide up the ends. If you want to create a tassel on that end, you can do that as well. Whatever you want to do at this point. And here's my completed key cover. It's so simple, works up so very quickly, and it's great for gifting. I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you liked it, please share the video with all your friends. Comment down below and let me know what you want to see next, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Until next time, bye bye.